Deuces.
Welcome back to another episode of Eyes on As podcast, part of the EPS family of podcasts, by the fans, for the fans, diehards only. I'm Cam, and back with both my co-hosts again this week, Dave and Eric. What's up, guys?
Hey, good to
Going
be back.
on? Happy to have
Dave
you
is back.
Dave. Yeah. Now we can talk about some stuff.
Yeah, we missed you.
Hey, you know what? I had a good time while I was gone, but glad to be back. And, we got some more games under our belts and some good stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we do. We got some crazy.
Yeah,
We got some drunk hockey.
yeah,
to
we
talk
got.
about.
Yeah, we got some crazy hockey to talk about, for sure. But before that, we skipped it last week because you were gone, Dave. So it's like just one of us asking. It's like it's not the same. So we're back this week with some trivia.
Come on.
This one is fitting because of what's going on right now. So I'll explain it as simply as I can, and you guys can take your guesses and see what's up. And everyone that's, if you're watching live, you can put in the comments and ask, put your answers too. But so the Avs are currently 6-0 in the postseason. They swept the first round. They're 2-0 right now. So that's 6 straight wins currently. Okay. Avalanche franchise history. So going back to 95-96. How many times in the playoffs have the Avalanche won 6 straight postseason games? How many times does it happen? So obviously once, because this year they've done it. So how many total times besides this year have they won 6 straight games in the postseason? 30 years of postseason.
I think I saw earlier today that when they last won the cup, they started out 6-0. I think I saw that. And I'm not sure that they ever did it other than that, but let me think about it for a minute. Eric, do you already know the answer?
Okay.
I mean, I'm trying to do some mental gymnastics while you guys are talking. I was like,
he's like, keep
keep
talking. So
yeah, keep talking, keep saying things. I mean, I would probably just because let me think. My first inclination's like 10. Because I think the year that they won the President's Trophy, I always go back to this one with trivia. I don't know why. When they played Vegas, I think they were 6-0 and then lost to Vegas.
Oh, and then Vegas tore them apart after that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know we've swept because of Dave's. I was like 16 or something. So I'm just going to go 10 because that feels nice. That feels like a nice round number.
That's a nice number.
Yeah, I like that.
I may be way off, but I'm gonna go 2. I think I'm horribly off. Oh well.
Hey.
Okay. Is that your final answers?
I like mine. I like 10.
Okay. So Dave is the closest out of you.
Oh,
and Eric, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh. So it's the answer, including this year, is 3 times.
Okay.
And so you were right on the right track, Eric. President's Trophy year 21, 6 in a row. 22, the Cup winning year, 6 in a row, and this year, 6 in a row, 3 times.
Wild that they didn't do it more. With like,
I know. I was looking back and like you think like the 2 cup run, because they swept the finals in the very first year, obviously against Florida. So that's 4 straight in the cup final.
Right.
But obviously they lost one of the other ones, and like the 01 year, they must have been they got 3 and 4 a couple times, but 6. I thought it would have been somewhere in the 90s or something, like when they were really dominant. They would have got 6 at some point, but it was always 4 and a loss, 3 and a loss. So I was shocked by that.
The rest. That's funny.
Wow.
Yeah.
So all 3 are in the McKinnon era.
Correct. And recently, all within like the
Uh,
last six years. Yep.
Wait a second. You just said something that I haven't heard. The McKinnon era. Is it the
I'm just
Landeskog era? I don't
I,
know.
I'm giving the Hart Trophy guy a little bit of love and saying it's his
Oh,
era. And
as you
plus,
should.
I love Landy, but he
I
took
know.
a 3-year hiatus, so I feel like it can't be your
He
era
took
if
a
you have
vacation.
he
Wait
took
a
a
second. He did. You know what? He's gelled so well, and I mean, he's come back so strong. I forgot he was ever gone.
it is kind of weird. Like I know this is already we're going rabbit trails, but it is kind of weird how they just talk about the 3 years, and it does feel so long ago because he was in last playoffs. But yeah, just a year removed from him being gone, and I loved what I forget who said it that he's been Bednar's like fix it for lines. Like, oh, this line's struggling. Let me throw him here. And I think because of all of that funness with Gabe, we get to be 6-0. I'm very thankful that he's back.
Yep. Well, he's a dog. Like we always talk about, you need the
Dog,
dogs, and Landy is a
the dog
dog.
and the dog. We need the dog and the dog.
Speaking of that, I can't remember if it was this series or it might have. No, I think it was the game 4 against the Kings. I was in the locker room like after they won. But I don't know if you saw this clip, but McCarr was the player of the game in game 3, so he had the puck to give.
Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I watched it like 20 times. Like player of the game, the dog, and then everyone's like,
I
yeah,
saw
Anytime I
that
can,
too. That was great.
anytime I can bark when Nate's playing good, I'm a happy camper. I always try to watch Nate
yeah,
barking.
yeah. I love it.
Yeah,
I
that
love it.
was great.
Uh,
Well, so a friend of mine suggested, and I meant to mention this to you guys, that we mostly have diehards only on here joining us because that's our target. But sometimes we have some casual observers. So I was going to quickly mention for those that are living in a hole or under a rock, um, the Avs are up 2-0 against the Wild in the second round of the playoffs. 9-6 and 5-2 were the scores in the last two games. And no, that's not a typo or a misspoken score. 9-6 in game 1. Crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
which that's a perfect transition, Dave, that you brought that up because we can start right there. I I watched a lot of playoff hockey from my 38 years of life, and I don't remember seeing this since like the early to mid 90s when I was a little kid. Like when it was like teams would win 8-5 in the play, like the crazy days of Lemieux and stuff when they win, and like as soon as
And
the
the
dead
Gretzky
puck era
years.
came, and yeah, like it never happened. And they just there's no defense. It was like everyone's gonna be a forward today, and here we go. Buckle up.
Yeah.
Let's
There's,
go for
there's,
it.
there was no defense. There was no goaltending. There was just skating around and scoring. It was fun to watch. That's for sure.
It was very fun to watch. I was losing it downstairs. Well, in my basement. But I was the following day, I was talking to some people that don't really follow hockey, and they were asking me, they were like, when was the last time you've seen anything like this? And I was like, oh, I haven't seen anything ever like this. And then I was like looking back, and I forgot that Cup year, our favorite year in 22, Edmonton and the Avs had a little barn burner. It was like 8-6 or something like that.
I think it was 8-6. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it was game 1 of that series too. And I was like,
Okay.
man, the Avs just like to game 1 just get the rust off by sprinting and seeing how many goals they can score to warm up.
Yeah.
But it was wild. Game 1 was insane.
The
Insane.
Avs goal the Avs goal production of late has been really awesome. I'm really glad to see it. It was interesting towards the end of the year. We had a few games, a few too many games, where our goal production wasn't there, and we had shots, we had this, we had that. Not a lot of goals in some of those games, and I'm like, oh man, this doesn't make me feel great. But I guess they were just saving them up for postseason for the Wild, especially because things are happening now.
Crazy.
Well, and I think we talked about it before too, but like Bednar's mentioned it, and not like Landy and all those guys, like with the King series example, like if you want to be a low scoring, tight checking game, we're gonna beat you 2-1. And if you want to run and gun and skate fast, guess what? We're gonna beat you at that too. And I was hearing a bunch of people say like the fact that the Avs went up 3-0 in the first period and then blew the lead and got down 5-4. And I was like, oh my God, like, is this really happening? And they still won. That was like the Wild's chance of like the Avs are not really trying to stop the puck right now, and they still lost. Like that bodes well for us of like it wasn't our best game, but we still scored 9 and won. So I'll take it, I guess.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, that tying goal later, the latter part of the second period was Devon Taves, I think. Is that right?
I
It
think
was.
so, yeah. Yeah, I think it was who brought it 5-5, yeah.
Somebody
It was a
on the
defenseman.
post-game broadcast, somebody on the Avs post-game said that they thought Taves' goal was the biggest one of the game, and so you know, I could definitely see that. You know, if we'd gone into the third period down by 1, I don't know what would have happened. It's a huge goal, in no matter how you cut it.
Yeah.
Watching game 1, I mean, for you guys, what was your main takeaways looking at that game, observing it? Obviously, there's a lot of things you kind of mentally throw away, like as a team, as a fan, those kind of things. But what were the things that kind of stuck to you guys, kind of leaving that game 1? I know we're already have a game 2 in there, and that kind of colors a lot of things. But just take me back after you have that moment of wow, that was a 9-6 game. What were you guys thinking? What were the takeaways? What were the things you jotted down to talk about here?
Yeah. Go ahead, Cam.
Come on, Cam. Let's hear it.
Minus the fact of looking at fact of they scored 15 goals. Like putting that aside, we all know like 15 goals is crazy. So that doesn't count.
Yeah.
Putting past that, the biggest thing that stuck out was the Avs were skating like the Avs. They were flying around. So I was like, okay, because we knew it was there, but after the King series, slow mucking up, like, are they going to come out? And I said, I'm like, I think they're going to come out skating. I had no idea that everyone was going to skate and there's going to be no defense, but I was like, they're going to come out skating, which they did. So flying around everybody, 4 lines. I was like, okay, that's awesome. Love to see it. And then, like we're going to talk more about later, they scored on the power play as first game. I was like, sweet. That's awesome. That's big. And obviously Dallas, I think, scored 9 or 10 power play goals against the Wild. So their PK isn't fantastic. So I don't know if this is smoke and mirrors of the Avs power plays better or the Wild suck at the PK. I don't know. Don't care right now because they scored. But that was the biggest thing was the speed was there. Everyone was skating on offense, and we scored a power play goal. So those are the big things that stood out for me. Initial reactions besides the crazy amount of goals.
Yeah. Dave?
So if I remember correctly, I heard that the Wild's PK, it may be just recently, it may be postseason. There was a stat thrown out that they were around 60%, which is absolutely abysmal. It may just be the postseason. It may be because Dallas scored so many power play goals on them. Anyhow, they're really struggling on the PK, especially as we saw. It's fresher in my memory game 2 with that sweet tic-tac-toe with Landy finishing it off for
That
our
was
second
so
goal.
sick.
That was the most beautiful thing ever. That's how you draw it up.
Slow motion, single tier.
Well,
That was a
that's
single
what you
tier moment.
text in the group text. Beautiful.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. But for game 1, what I remember is 8 different scores for the Avalanche. You want to talk about depth scoring and scoring from all over the place? It was Makar that had 2 goals, and then we had 7 other goal scorers.
Just pick someone. You're probably right.
It's just astounding. We're getting goals from everywhere, and you're not ever surprised when any of these guys, when Nick Waugh scores, or obviously some of the top 6 guys, Nichushkin, you're always expecting him to score. His scoring has been a little bit down, it seems like recently, but I think he's starting to pick it up. And then, you got your Malinskis and other guys from the blue line. I mean, this is the deepest team in the NHL. I am not surprised that they've won 6 games in a row. And, I'm not going to be surprised if they keep on going. Now, at some point, the Wild are going to win a game, I think. I don't know when that's going to be. But yeah, the depth of this team is what just blows me away. And it's just astounding, and it's so fun to watch.
So fun. I mean, for me, what really stuck out, because I was looking, and like you were saying, Dave, Minnesota had one of the top like special teams with PK. They were, I think, like top 5, and just humming defensively. I really think that Dallas has given them a lot of PTSD with their PK, because Dallas has the whole year survived on like power play goals. Like Wyatt Johnston, I think the majority of his goals was on the power play. I think Miko's were majority. Like they were almost having multiple like 40 goal scorers. I think they did have 2, but you look at them and they were all power play. So I think that's a little bit in their head, on top of having injuries. I think having what we were talking about earlier, having Eriksson Ek out and Brodin out, I think is messing with their PK even more. So I think it's a little bit of health and mind game on their PK stuff. I think we have improved, but I also think we're getting a little bit of help from the ghost of the Dallas Stars, which they probably absolutely hate that they're helping us right now. But I really do think, because of how Dallas played on the power play, I think they're second guessing everything. I think they're not operating as instinctually. I think they're kind of reeling a little bit, which is helping us build confidence, because I think game 2 was actual, like, we're playing good, like the one we were just talking about, the power play goal. But I think game 1, just realizing, like, I think they were reeling on the power play and we're benefiting from that. I think that was the first thing I thought of. And then number 2, like, majority of our goals game 1 was defensemen. Like, getting to see Nick Blankenberg jump in on that, getting to see
was
Kale
amazing.
Oh, do you see that
jump in.
celebration?
Yes, it was like so many good things, and it was our D-men. Like, that is how we live and breathe. That our D-men start the rush, start the offensive push, and we got to do that. Like, I think so much last round, we were like, hey, we're not playing in how we want to play. We were saying, hey, we'll adjust to whatever people are throwing at us. I think this one was the one, like, hey, you're going to see the horses and the dogs really sprint in this one. And we were doing everything we wanted to do. And I think where our rest versus rust really came in was just remembering our, like, defensive structures. Obviously, I think everyone kind of forgot their defensive structures, but just I think the rust in that was they were excited to be scoring and look like the scoring juggernaut they are, but then kind of forgot, oh yeah, we have to play defense too. That's interesting.
They played
so that was really
they played just enough defense to get the win, but
exactly.
they also had some timely saves from Wedgwood, who, despite allowing 6 goals, wasn't bad in the game. I don't know how you allow 6 goals.
Yeah,
you don't play bad. I never felt like he was playing poorly.
No, he was a lot of those. It was like, what can you really do? So many defensive breakdowns. It's like, what are you gonna do? But
he definitely he definitely got hung out to dry. on a lot of those. A couple of them had some like weird bounces. I think I
Oh,
really
yeah.
liked what they said post game. Um, that I think with Wallstead, they were really zeroing in and figured out something on him
I think
that I
so
think
too.
made the coach a little scary. I think for us, I think we had a few moments where our defensive structure really left Wedgie out to dry, and then he had a couple weird bounces.
Yeah.
And then also, I think someone else said this too in one of the broadcasts. Like he won, so I think he can really shake off this thing,
Yeah.
that game, and be like,
Yeah.
not the best game we won.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
Minnesota has to be like, oh, we got to go back to the drawing board and figure
Yeah.
something out
Well,
here.
you mean like a defensive breakdown, like giving up a 2-0 on a power play, like that?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
what that just cemented. I'm like, are we in the Matrix right now? Like a 2-0 on the penalty kill. I'm surprised he scored just for the fact if it was me, I'd be like, are we on a 2-0 on the penalty kill right now? Like
I
I would have
know.
dropped the
Like
puck.
the pause of like, oh, you guys are
Yeah.
gonna just let me do this real quick.
Yeah.
That's probably what Wedgie was doing. He's probably like back there, like, guys, what's going on right now?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell
Yeah.
you what, you
Um.
mentioned something interesting, the rest versus rust. And I really think that while our defense was rusty, 9 goals, our offense was not rusty. Um, and I think even I'm hoping, I'm not expecting, I'm not predicting, I'm hoping we can finish off the Wild quickly and then have another rest because I think the leadership on this team is different than on a lot of other teams. There's no way they're going to come out. Let's say hypothetically they have a long break after round 2 and they win it. There's no way they're coming out in the third round rusty and looking like they're not ready. You got Landeskog and McKinnon; those two right there by themselves are going to keep everybody in line. And I think it's just ingrained in this team anyway to be prepared. So I wasn't surprised
Yeah.
that they came out playing like that at all. And we'll see. We'll see. We'll talk about game 2, obviously, a little bit. We'll see what happens in game 3. Do the Wild try to lock it down maybe and say, slow down? We can't skate with these guys. They take a page out of the Kings book. They can't do everything that the Kings do. They're built for that. But do they try to lock it down a little bit more? They got to change something because 5-2 in the second in game 2 wasn't a lot better. Wasn't really any better for the Wild than game 1 at the end of the day.
Yeah. I can't believe I wrote this down. I can't before we move on to game 2. Another rapid reaction that we can pick apart here. Can't believe we spaced this. Is Makar getting hurt in the first minute of the game? And I was panicking because I mean, granted, we have
Oh
the
yeah.
depth, but I mean, it's Makar. And I saw him get hit, but I didn't see what exactly happened until they showed the replay. And I was like, how did that happen? His leg was above the glass, and then he's not coming back in the first period. I'm like, oh no, this
Yeah,
sucks.
I was
And then
panicking.
what's he do? I saw him do his little on the ice. I'm like, okay,
Hey,
he's sitting on the bench. When I saw him sit on the bench after he tested it out, like whatever it may be, I'm like, okay, then it can't be that bad if he's not going back to the locker room. And then what's Makar do? He goes, well, you're gonna make me do the splits upside down. I'm just gonna come score a couple goals and play like Makar and say Quinn Hughes who. And so yeah, I don't know what you guys were thinking when that happened, but I was like, oh crap.
yes, I completely good. Good job bringing this up. I completely spaced it
Yeah.
because I think in the moment I really used because we were losing defensemen left and right, and like Sam Malinsky was bleeding everywhere. But I think
Yeah.
I really like. I think looking back, a lot of it was the excitement of a lot of offense and defensive structure rust. But I also think what played in our barn burner was the deep pairings having to get all wonky and mixed up and people
100%.
having to do stuff. And like, I think we talked about it last week was like, hey, Blankenberg just doing what he's supposed to do, staying within and keeping him doing a lot of extra, really minimal, is going to be the safety of that. But then when you lose Kale, people got to start, whoever you're with, and you got to make it work. And I think that really put us out of sync. And then it being extended with Sam having to go because he got cut. Like, I think they were just so out of sorts defensively that really just added to what was going on and really just kept that unease, uncomfortable, feeling each other out, both the teams, and just leading to all the chaos.
Yeah.
And very, very happy Kale
Yeah.
is fine.
Here's the right word, panicked. I was totally panicked.
Yes.
I think the Avalanche, I think we all think this, can win the cup. It's not a far stretch. I'm sure, the betting favorite still. But you lose Makar, and maybe they're still the favorites, but it's a lot tighter. And with Makar, they're an all-world team. Without him, they're a good team, a very good team, maybe a great team. But yeah, I was panicked. Him coming back was a huge, huge sigh of relief. And then he scores. Everything's wonderful. And he looked great in game two, I thought.
He looked fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. We were scared, thinking like maybe the second day might be like when the adrenaline wears off, like what it may be that if it's, we still don't know. Was it the groin? Was it the hip? We won't know until June, probably.
he used the word
but
tweak.
He
I
looked
saw
good.
the word tweak today, which makes me, I mean, who knows if he's trying to like deflect or anything, but tweak doesn't make me too nervous. So, and especially how he looked in game two, right? So,
Yeah. We dodged a bullet there. So, yeah.
yeah. I mean, look at all
But
these
yeah.
other teams. You lose top players, you're going to struggle because let's be honest. Next man up. Okay, if you lose McKinnon or McCarr, next man up is not as good as they are.
No.
So they can try and do their best, but it's going to make a difference. So you got to be healthy, and so far so good.
Well, I mean, even
Yep.
on the flip side, like Minnesota, like I wouldn't consider Eriksson Ek like their top player. We would say Kaprizov, Hughes and Faber, but even just losing that centerman depth for them, now they're putting guys in positions they would never want to put them in, and they're reeling from that, or they're having to call up a D-man to replace Brodin. Like it always just affects the puzzle piece in some way or another. I mean, we've been talking about, hey, we really miss Josh Manson because of what he brings, and also the puzzle piece of who he's with, and Blankenberg, having to build chemistry in the midst of one of the hardest situations to do it, where you're having to defend playoff teams night in and night out. And we're like, hey, you can only cover that so much. Like, Manson would probably be a top 4 pairing, if not top, if not higher, except he's on the Avs. So it's like we can hide Blankenberg, but you can only do it for so long in so many ways. And they're feeling that in Minnesota, and with Kale, like you said, Dave, like Sam Malinsky's gotten pretty good, but there's definitely a drop off from him and Kale,
Yeah.
And it's nothing against Sam. It's just Kale is all worldly. Like, he does stuff, and you're just like, what is going on? So
when you take the best of the best and take them out of your lineup, it's gonna have an effect. And it affected us for what, a few minutes or the better part of the first period, I guess,
like
right?
10 minutes.
But he didn't come back until the second. He sat on the bench, but he didn't play until he started the second period actually. So that was
because I remember at the end he was like in between breaks, like skating, stretching, and getting right back on the bench and stuff.
Yeah.
So thank goodness. That was definitely like disaster averting, kind of moment.
Yeah.
Like, especially game 1 where we punched them in the mouth, they punched us in the mouth. Like, we don't have him. I don't want to think about what game 1 looks like. And then it changes the whole complexion of this series where right now we're like, whoa, I don't want to, count my chickens too fast, but it's
No,
looking pretty
Yeah.
good right now.
Yeah. Exactly.
Where I think there it's a 1-1 series possibly, and we're like, okay, like we have to go steal one there, and we gotta, series don't start till
Yeah.
someone loses at home, and that would have been really fast if the
Mhm.
series started there.
Yeah. Before we get into the game 2 review, piggybacking onto the injury thing. So we all know injuries are part of it, especially in the playoffs. Everyone's got something they're hurt, and you're gonna lose guys like we were
Totally.
missing Manson, obviously. But I mean, the Wild. We'll get more into that. The whining Wild, but I don't want anybody to hear excuses when we beat them, like, oh, we're missing people, because we just talked about it. We missed our captain Landeskog for 3 full years after we won the cup. So I don't want you to hear, oh, we're missing who and who. I'm like, we didn't have Landy for 3 seasons. We could have had 2 more cups. So injuries, it happens, but don't make them excuses, because we were missing our big dog for that long. So
Exactly.
yeah,
That's a great point.
I know.
Yeah. So game 2, the fresher of the 2 in our minds that recently. What do you guys think of that? I'll start in the middle. Eric, what do you thought about game 2? It was lower scoring, but we still pumped in 5, so it's positive.
Yeah, I mean, I think my big thoughts were like improvement in progress. I think we definitely locked it down a little more, but also saw like this is not LA, and we're gonna have to lock it down a little more and be a little bit more strict on that. Like it was so annoying to see how fast Kaprizov scored following our goal. And it was just like a little bit of mental gap, a little bit of aggressive, I think over committing in some areas that we paid for it. So it's like there were moments where you could see Minnesota like get some momentum, but then you could also see like Colorado being like, hey, we're going to fix this. We're going to be a defensive. We're going to lock it down in some areas. And especially in the third, I think you could see their guys having to be a little gassed because they're just trying to keep up. And Hughes and Faber just have to put the cape on and make something happen. Because, yes, Kaprizov scored, but he hasn't gotten going. I don't think that's him getting going. I think that was an opportunity for him to get started. And I think if he gets that goal on that power play that Wedgwood saves us on that PK, like I think he's going. But I don't think so yet. I think he's still trying to like amp himself up. So I think we're really improving in the right direction. But we got some work to do, and this is just a better offensive team than the Kings. So we just need to keep committing ourselves to that. But we're going in the right direction. I feel very confident in this team and really excited.
Yeah. My thoughts are just how dominating the Avalanche are. I never felt like they were in danger of losing that game. I felt like they controlled it the whole way. I thought the ESPN announcers were going overboard, and EJ I thought was going overboard as well, saying the Wild have to do this, they do this, they do this, then they can get back into it. And they kept not doing that, and they couldn't do it because the Avalanche were in control of that entire game. There were moments, obviously, the Wild got zone time, but there wasn't a whole lot of it. There was a lot of time when the Avalanche had zone time. That the passing is crisp from the Avalanche, the timely hitting. I mean, McKinnon and blowing up. Who did McKinnon blow up on the wall?
Everybody.
Besides everybody.
The correct answer, Dave, is everybody.
That's why I couldn't remember who he blew up, but he was blowing up everybody. Hughes is getting hit. we're scoring, we're skating freely, and we're also doing some additional hitting that I don't think we really did a whole lot of during the regular season. I think the Kings got us going in our hitting game, and we're like,
Yes.
hey, let's carry some of this hitting over into round two. I did say before the first series started that I thought maybe it was in the middle of the first series. I think Dallas is actually better than the Wild by a little bit. And I wanted to play the Wild. And, we'll see if I have to eat my words later. But Wild are a little bit banged up. And I don't think they can skate with us. And our goaltending is great. Now, they have a goaltending question after playing two different guys and losing twice? I don't know what they're thinking as far as goal. Wedgwood is obviously not going anywhere. I just feel great about this team,
Yeah.
and I feel great about Game 3, which we'll talk about later when we get to our prognostications. But the domination of this team is just stellar. They're the best team in the league.
Yes, I think we all agree with that. Um, I'm gonna loop in our next point with the game two review and everything in there. I talked about it, and so we obviously haven't seen each other in person. I'm basically the same. I'm probably heavier a little bit, but I'm Quinn Hughes basically body. That's me, height and whatever. He's obviously in the NHL. Not saying I'm Quinn Hughes, but if we're staying next to each other, we're the same. I
Yeah.
said, hey, if you
You
go ahead,
guys
Nate.
can't tell, but I look like Zadorov. I'm about as tall as him too. So yeah. Same camp. Same, just different player.
Yeah, I'm 5'8" and Eric's 6'8". So yeah.
Yeah. You can just so you guys
Oh,
know, point of reference.
that's so funny. Um, yeah, one of the big points is, and easier said than done, but you got to take the body on Hughes, which he's shifty, he's quick. We know that it's easier said than done. But if you can do it, he does not like getting hit. And it's like if we can pound him every time he gets the puck, we're gonna do well. And we saw with especially the McKinnon hit where he folded over like a lawn chair as soon as he got breathed on. But there was time Lecky blew him up behind the net too, and I don't know if you
Yes.
guys saw it was on ESPN. There was like a screenshot of Quinn laying on the ground because everyone kind of came in, and it was the funniest thing. His face was basically like, "Oh no, I got hit. I don't like this." I'm like, dude, you're an NHL defenseman who doesn't like getting hit, blocking shots, going in the corners. Like, and I'll say this: this could be people could listen to this and be like, "This guy is an idiot," but whatever. I don't care. I don't think Quinn Hughes is a
Put it
defenseman.
in the comments.
Yeah. I think Quinn Hughes is a really gifted forward who happens to be a defenseman because people want to compare Hughes and McCarr and it's not even close. I'm sorry. People are going to say Avalanche bias, but it's true. Kale kills penalties. Quinn does not. Kale can blow somebody up. Quinn cannot. He'll bounce off of them. Kale will go in the corner and get hit to make a play. Quinn will hold back to let the other guy go in the corner because he doesn't want to get hit. How can you be a top defenseman if you won't even be willing to get hit in the corner? Like, obviously, he gets away with it because he's so skilled. He can beat the players there a lot of the time. He can skirt around with his skating and passing. But I mean, come on. So that's a major point because they obviously attacked him pretty much all game long, and we
Yeah.
saw what happened. And that goes for all the defensemen. And the Avs did a great job at it. I wrote it down of chasing after pucks, and we've been wanting to see him go after it. And it scored in the corner after Gustin made saves. And who was there? Lecky, Nichushkin, Landy. They were all pounding the defensemen, getting the pucks. So that was one of my big takeaways is puck hounds, the dogs were out, taking the body, making Hughes pay for touching the puck. And then obviously also McKinnon annihilated Boldy with a completely legal shoulder to shoulder non-boarding hit. And Boldy just was like, what's going on? So that's what I have to say about that.
Well, I think it's so interesting too, because I would say majority of regular season, like our team does a lot of avoiding hits and being more finesse. and really trying to be smart about those hits, kind of leaving it to, bottom six, like, hey, you guys throw your body. Parker Kelly, block all the shots you can with your body. Good luck. Like all of that. But I think that strategy is really starting to come in and benefit us because I think also, I mean, getting a sweep helps too, but just seeing how fresh our guys look so that now they can hit and be a little bit more aggressive. Like we all know, like Nate strategically avoids hits in the regular season. He's not scared of hits. Like he will lay people out. I always think of that one against the San Jose Sharks where he hits someone and then just looks over him and goes, woo, and keeps skating. I always think of that one when I think of Nate hitting. Also, him throwing a helmet at the Arizona
I
Coyotes.
go first to throw
Those
the
are the
Yeah.
helmet.
two. But like Nate is usually like, hey, I'm going to avoid hits. I'm not going to really do a lot of that because I think he very much thinks like, hey, I need to be ready to go in the playoffs. And they know how long it takes. I think, Dave, like we were saying about rest versus rust with experience, I think the experience of avoiding hits to then be aggressive in the playoffs is really starting to show. Because seeing how much Nate is defensively engaged and hitting people, it just shows. And I think once again, the ghost of the Dallas Stars um, is affecting Minnesota. I think
Yeah.
they had to do a lot physically to get through that series. Obviously, they beat Dallas in 6. I think that was more Dallas's fault that they couldn't score 5-on-5. It really bit them in the butt at the end. But
Mhm.
we said like Dallas is a physical team, and you leave that series when you win just a little like, and I think Minnesota's feeling that. I think what Cam said that Quinn Hughes isn't really a guy that wants to be hitting all the time. Brock Faber's not scared of it, but he's not the biggest dude either. So now they're having to play extended time to make something happen offensively to keep up. And they're getting hit a little more than usual. I think they're just like running out of gas. Like that one where Boldy gets hit, he's like getting up, but then has to sprint to the line so they don't get an offside call. Like
Yeah.
I think those things are starting to wear on them where it's like, I don't think this is happening. But if they were to get to the conference finals, I think they would have no gas
Yeah.
and would be out in 4 or 5. Like
Yeah.
that would just be how it is. But I think because the Avs are playing so physical and so fresh and be like, hey, we can be physical and focus on hitting and trust that our depth scoring is going to do something, unlike you guys, where I think Minnesota's like, crap, we have to hit and make something happen. And
Yeah.
I think even just the thought of that can be exhausting. And I think it's really getting to them, even just 2 games in. I think they'll get
Yeah.
the home bump, but
Yeah.
I think that's still in the back of their mind.
They'll get a bump at home from their crowd, and they'll come out. They'll come out flying around in Game 3, but you can't manufacture energy and rest and everything. Though they'll get
Exactly.
some extra time before Game 3, which obviously isn't until Saturday. So, yeah, I agree. They're wearing down, and we're seeing it. After just 2 games. So I love that. There's one other thing I wanted to mention that I loved about Game 2 that I forgot to mention earlier, which was Nichushkin getting the empty netter. If we can get Nichushkin going a little bit more, this is going to be just a blowout of a series and a blowout the rest of the way. If we can get Nichushkin bumped up to where he has been some in the past, and we're getting all this scoring from everywhere else, including our stars and including the depth, I've always maintained that he is the X factor, and we can win without him getting really going strong. But if he does, then look out because we're just going to be like a steam train coming down the tracks.
It would be nice to get that whole second line going too, because I feel
Yeah.
like Val and Brock have had some
Yeah.
dangerous looks. I feel
Yeah.
like Brock has done some stuff where you're like, oh, he's about to score here, and it like hits the pipe or something.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like I said earlier, I don't think it's a coincidence that Gabe's on that second line right now, because I think they're probably trying to jumpstart that line, because Wall's scoring now like pretty comfortably at will, which is so nice. We
Yeah.
got Kadri to score in that game one. Ross Colton's still snake bitten, but they have so much energy because of him. But that second line, they're doing everything well defensively. They just haven't gotten rewarded yet. And I think, Dave, you hit it on the head. If they start going, we'll have 4 lines scoring. And that's just
It's
that's not even
insane.
talking about
Yeah.
our D. That's not talking about our defensemen
Yeah.
who are very much involved. And if we have all phases scoring, that's
It's just a matter of time, because I'm pretty sure it was game 2 that, because I was I was listening to it. We were driving home from the rink, so I was listening on the radio. But that Brock hit like 1 or 2 posts in that game. Like Nelson's open, and then I hear clink. So and Nichushkin obviously getting the empty net goal helps, but like you said, Eric, like they're doing everything right. It just hasn't gone in the net yet. But I mean, all it takes is one goal, and then if they're firing, you got the top lines firing, you got second, third, fourth, like, and then like you said, the D, like, it's scary. It's a good problem to have, like that your second line's been snake bit and you still have won 6 straight games. That just goes to show the quality of the depth. But that's the positive. And then what you're talking about too, it's kind of like, is it the PTSD from Dallas or is it us? But another power play goal, and I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they scored right after a power play ended. I believe they got one PP goal, and I think they scored a couple seconds after Minnesota came out of the box. I thought it was 2 power play goals, but I think somebody came right out. So
we
let's just
were
say it
2
was
for 5. We were 2 for 5.
okay. So they did get 2. So they get 2.
Game
power play goals.
1 was
so
the
that's
one
awesome.
where we got one. It was PP2 that got one after the power play ended.
Okay.
On one of them.
There we go.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's another thing that we've been hoping for, and so that's another depth thing of they're getting power play goals, and even though I think the Wild are having the PTSD, I agree with you, Eric, from the Stars. I don't think it matters to the Avs. They're not thinking that. They're like, okay, our power play's humming, and if they move on from this series, and if whoever they play, Vegas or the Ducks, I think that'll carry over. They're feeling it now, so I don't think it matters if it's the Wild or the Knights or the Ducks on the PK. They're gonna be like, hey, we figured this out, and it's gonna keep rolling, which is awesome to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One other thing I didn't notice very much in games 1 or 2 is our goaltending, because there was nothing to see. It was just solid. We talked about this early on before we played the Kings. The national media is talking about, well, the Avs could win maybe, but they have problems in goal. No, they never had problems in goal, and they sure don't now. I love it that we're not talking about goaltending, because there's nothing to talk about. Wedgwood is solid. He's the wedge wall. And you know what? We're all good there.
Yeah, I think we're pretty good with the wedge wall. I think that was this is not contradicting what you're saying, Dave. I think that was his worst game, or worst best game. That's the way I want it. Worst best game. He felt a little jumpy. And I think there was a good push from the Wild, which they're struggling on their power play too. They had a good push in their power play. He was very jumpy, but I think working with the defense and having that give and take of, hey, I'm not always going to be zeroed in, but he still like had 29 saves, like still had a great save percentage. But I felt like he was really jumpy there, and the defense locked it down in those areas. And I think they said it in the broadcast, like, doesn't really matter about like save percentage if you save the gotta have it ones. Like I was talking about the Kaprizov one. The D-man missed that kind of backdoor pass, and Kaprizov was going to have it wide open, and somehow Wedgwood gets there and blocks it just enough where usually like your D-man's got to get that or that's going to be a freebie, and somehow he gets there. There were some where he was a little too jumpy, throwing himself, kind of getting out of the crease, and the D-man got those ones going across in the middle. So I think we're in a really good spot. We're in a better spot than Minnesota when it comes to goaltending, how they're feeling
for sure.
But
They
I
have
think
no idea who they're going to put in goal next game. I would
I bet
imagine.
you it's Wallstad. I
bet it is.
I bet you them because I think they're already trying to kind of sneak it in. I know I'm already jumping ahead a bit, but I think they're trying to sneak in the rust or the rest thing in there, and they're like, "Hey, we were just giving him an extra rest day." So I think room locker wise, they'll be able to get past switching goaltenders and go right back to Wallstead. But I think you're stuck with Wallstead now if you use him in game 3 and you can't go back to Gus, which I don't know why. I feel really comfortable with the Avs playing against Wallstead. I think they're in his head.
Maybe it's the 9 goals in game 1.
Yeah, maybe
Right.
it's that we just kept burying them.
Could be that. Could be that.
So,
that's funny.
Yeah.
Funny.
Before we get more into the game 3 preview, Dave had brought it up, but did you want to give? I kind of gave my analysis, but do you want to talk more about trying to target Hughes and what you think about them going after him and put your input on that a little bit?
I think it's awesome that we're hitting more. We talked about hitting earlier, I think a regular season game, we're not going to be laying the hits as we are now, but obviously we're sending a message to Hughes that you're not going to skate around here and skate circles around us without getting hit. Though a couple times he certainly has skated a few circles. You're not going to stop a guy with that much talent, but I think it's a great strategy, and it appears to be a strategy because certainly in game 2, a little bit in game 1, there was, I thought, more body on Hughes for sure. Put him on the ice face down a couple, well, at least once, and I think it's great. They obviously are a little bit thin on defense. They obviously have to play Hughes a lot. So hitting him and making him feel it out there, I think is a hell of a strategy. Game within the game, right? I'm sure Bednar, and his staff probably discussed it ad nauseum. Should we let this guy skate circles around us, or should we hit him? I think it was probably a pretty easy answer, and I like what I'm seeing.
Yeah. I feel
nice.
like I feel like last year, I know Bednar's a good coach and all of this. I feel like this series, I've felt a lot of like coaching emphasis, even though I'm not in the room, and a lot of just intentional things they're doing. How they targeted Wallstead and where they were aiming pucks and finding a little soft spot. Having a body continuously on Hughes and Faber. I think that's an emphasis in getting them kind of out of rhythm, which is getting the offense out of rhythm. I feel like I've seen a few things where I'm like, oh, I see what you're doing there, Bednar. That is a great adjustment of how you're kind of attacking the Wild and, just giving Bednar some flowers on that. I feel like I really see it in this series a lot. Just little things and little emphasis like that I'm like, oh, that was a good game plan. There's really good stuff. They're concocting and cooking up in that locker room.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, they're looking good, and kind of like what Dave was talking about a little bit. But you don't want Hughes to be skating all over any of those guys. But I think the Avs are faster than the Wild for sure. We can all agree with that, like top to bottom. But they were able to do what they did to Dallas because Dallas is not as fast, and then you come to the Avs and see a higher level of speed than even the Wild have, and the Avs can match their speed or surpass it and take the body, and you're not going to be able to do all those things. And for me, I'm sure they're way smarter than me, but playing Hughes, and they've kind of done it. I think what you have to do is take the body in the defensive zone no matter what. And if he jukes you out or you miss him, he's in the defensive zone, no harm, no foul. In the offensive zone, you got to be a little smarter because, like how McCarr does it on the blue line, if you try to take the body on the blue line and he spins around you, now you're at the blue line, he's passed and he can drive it in, that's where he can hurt you. So
Yep.
it's being smart about it, but they've obviously done it. But I agree with you, Eric. I think because Faber and Hughes play so much and do so much for those guys, like any little hit is just taken out of them, and then they have to carry the offense too, and they're just getting, you can tell, like kind of moving into game 3. They do get 3 days off now, so that's gonna help them for sure. Help the Avs too. I mean, more rest, who cares? It can't be a
Yeah.
bad thing, but game 3 is going to be interesting because they're going to get the home bump like we talked about. They'll have 3 days rest. They're going to be like, we're down 2-0. We have to win this game. And so it'll be interesting. The first 10 minutes for sure will be.
Yep. Weather the storm.
That'll be a telltale sign. What's going to happen? Yeah, what's going to happen for sure. So, yeah, what do you guys think? Game 3, Saturday. What's going to happen?
I think the Wild are going to come out skating. I think they're going to take the lead early or in the first period at some point. I'm not sure that I predict them to go up 2-0. We'll see, but I predict the Avalanche win the game. I don't think they have enough gas to play the entire game. The Avalanche are too complete. Minnesota has too many holes. In my mind, one of their holes being, just having to play top guys too much. Hughes and Faber, for example, I don't think they can sustain the adrenaline, excitement over that they're going to get at the beginning for the entire game. I think the Avs have to weather the storm. I think the Avs win the game. I didn't think about this earlier, but I think the Avs will win 4-3.
I like it. I like it.
I
like
it. And yeah, I'm not going to predict 2 scores, but I'll say the second line's going to score 5-1-5.
Okay, I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. I feel like this series has been really weird. Just random 15 goal game. I feel like game 2 we had it was more normal. I feel like game 3 is going to have some weird stuff. I'm interested. I've been seeing so many conflicting things about Eriksson Ek and Brodin. Like one will be like, oh, Eriksson Ek's going to be back for game 3. Oh, Brodin's going to be back for game 3. I think depending on who comes back determines what it's going to look like. I think if Eriksson Ek is back, I think that is we're going to have another little scoring game. Not 15 goals, but I think we'll have another little scoring game. If Brodin comes back, I think we're going to have a nice little defensive game. I think Minnesota is going to have to try something different. I think they're going to kind of use these 3 days, this lifelong gap in between game 2 and game 3, and they're going to say, hey, we're going to have to try some different stuff. I just have this weird feeling that they're going to split up Hughes and Faber just to get some more offense going using their D-men to do that. So I just have a feeling we're going to see like weird stuff. I don't know. I hope it's not like glass breaking in a 20-minute pause or something weird like that. But I just have this feeling that we're going to see like just weird stuff. I have a feeling that their power play gets going. I think they finally get a power play goal. And I think it's going to be a lot of special teams to determine game 3. I just have a feeling on that if they get it going on their PK or their power play, because I think that's going to be a huge point of emphasis for them in these 3 days. Yep.
For sure. Yeah, all good points.
Avs win.
Oh, nice. I like it.
Yeah.
Cam,
I
what do you
think
have?
this is going to be the toughest game in the series for sure.
Yep.
Because there's
Yep.
so much riding on this for both teams. It's a little hard to predict, and because, like you said, is Manson going to be back? Is Eriksson Ek going to play? It's hard to say without knowing. I think if Manson comes back, he's gonna be killing guys because he's
Yep.
been sitting out, being like watching the hitting and be like, "That's me. That's what I do." So I think
I
if
like
he's back
that.
in the lineup, he's gonna destroy people. I'm like, I've been missing out. Maybe even a penalty that maybe he shouldn't take because he might have punched
Yes.
someone or done something a little iffy. That could happen. But let's say he's back and Eriksson Ek and Brody. I'm just gonna pretend that everyone's back. Uh, I think, like I said, the first 10 minutes is going to be the Wild probably playing the best they've played. The crowd knows it. They know it. This is like do or die pretty much because 3-0 is a lot different than 2-1. We know that. We've talked about
Yep.
that. I think if the Avs are able to weather the storm, keep it close because they can play close games. If they win game 3 and they go up 3-0, they will not lose the series. They might win it 4-1. It might be a sweep, but they are not losing the Wild. They're not going to beat the Avs 4 straight games. Not gonna
No.
happen. If it goes 2-1 and the Wild are completely healthy and they got another home game, you don't know. It's possible the Wild could win again. I mean, they're a good team. And I think the
Yeah.
Avs know that. They don't want to give them anything. This isn't the Kings. Kings win one game and they're like, whatever. Shoe fly. We're going to win the rest of them. But if the Wild win one game, like, okay, crap. Like, we got to lock it in. So if the Avs can go up 3-1, series is done for sure. But I think with, like we talked about, the leadership in the locker room, Landy being there and how important he is to the team, and we've missed it for the last 3 years, and last year was weird anyway. Mac is going. The second line, if we can get those guys going, if Manson's back, the defense, Makar wants to prove a point. I think I have a feeling that the Avs are just gonna find a way. Like I like
Yeah.
Dave's 4-3 score. I like that a lot because I think the Avs are still gonna be scoring. It's gonna be a lot closer game. I think the Avs are gonna be playing from behind for part of the game, trying to catch up to that home crowd bump. But I think they're just gonna be like, "Who cares, guys? Like we're down 3-2, we're down 4-3, whatever. We're gonna come back." And I think I'm gonna go. I like Dave's answer. I think it's gonna be 4-3 Avs. The Wild are gonna get a power play goal. They're gonna think that they got him.
All's well.
The
Yep.
third period's gonna come. Faber and Hughes are gonna be like tired, and our guys are just gonna be like, it's a brand new game, and they're gonna crush them in the third and pull out the win and go up 3-0. That's what I'm gonna go with.
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Who knows? Is this our first overtime game of the series? Who knows?
Ooh. Then
Oh,
that anything
One
goes
on that.
then. One crazy
Exactly.
bounce, you never know.
Exactly. Because
Yeah.
these games have been pretty much over like almost midway through the third. Like we've had 2-goal leads. Obviously, 2-goal lead is the the most dangerous lead you can have. But I mean, they've been pretty like decisively handled by the time. The Avs are just undefeated if they're leading in the third period, and the trend still lives on. So it'll be interesting to see like kind of what you guys are saying. If they're playing from behind, that would be their first kind of adversity in enemy territory, how they respond. I think that would be a good test for the Avs, playing a high powered offense and being a little behind. But also, hey, don't take a test if you don't have to take it. You know what I mean? Just win the
Yeah.
game. So,
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, Avs win by a lot.
So I have kind of, I don't know if it's a theory or just what I think, but like I don't know if this is completely weird and bizarre, but like let's say the Wild win like 3-2 in regulation, right? Like we got a game, whatever. I feel like in the playoffs, like when you win in overtime, because it's like do or die, next goal wins, like you get more of a momentum
Launches
boost,
you.
even though it's tied. Like the Wild could, like this won't happen. The Wild could blow us out like 7-2, let's say, and win. But if they won in overtime, I think they get more confidence from that. Like, I don't know what it is, like
Totally.
the
I agree
crowd
with
and
you.
everyone, when you score and game's over, you get more from that. Like, I don't think they're gonna lose, but I'd rather lose in regulation because it seems to be
Totally.
like the overtime gives you that little the adrenaline rush from scoring an overtime goal, especially at home, is just nuts. So I think if they won in overtime, that would be bad news because they're like, okay, we got it. The
Totally.
crowd's crazy. They're feeling it, and game 4 would be really crazy. But I don't know. That's just what I
No,
think.
I completely agree with you, and I know we're a little over, but uh, I thought Dallas wins their series because of that double overtime win. Like, I thought that was the momentum they needed to push them over to win it. Minnesota wins it, and I think uh, a word of caution to Colorado. This team is resilient. They've lost some heartbreakers just in the last series, but they won the series. So for the Avs, just to know, like, you've won 2 battles, but you haven't won the war yet. And they're at home. They have all the energy they need to push one win out. And like, we're kind of just circling around. You don't want to give them one. You really don't, because they're a resilient enough team to say, we got one. We can do it again. We can make them bleed. We
Well,
can make the President's
and they're
Trophy
not the Kings.
bleed.
This isn't the
Yes.
Kings. So,
Yes.
yeah.
So, yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's a good take. Yeah, let's not go into overtime.
And or if we do, we better win the game because
One of
then
my
it's the
favorite.
opposite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No, keep going. Keep going.
I was just saying it's the reverse. If the Avs win in overtime, then it's like an extra dagger in the heart of like we got them
Yes.
to overtime and we still can't win. They're just gonna fold basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I was
Yeah.
gonna say one of my like justifying things I would say in the regular season is I was like, hey, we don't have shootouts. We can lose those. But now that we're in the playoffs, I'm like, thank God there's no shootouts in playoffs because we're so bad at
Yes.
shootouts. I was like, I never want a penalty shot and I never want a shootout in the playoffs. And I think the Avs will be just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Cool.
Dave, you got any last thoughts about Game 3 and what's
No, I'm
gonna
gonna. Well,
possibly
you know
happen?
what? I started thinking about who I thought was gonna score. So I think Kadri's gonna score. Nate's gonna score. Lecky
You got to get a D man in there.
and some defenseman, Malinsky or McDonald. I don't know who.
I
That's
like
my
it.
4 goals.
I like
I
it.
like it.
I like it.
That's my parting shot. So, well, I guess that's it for today, folks. As the bottom of our screen says, like, comment, subscribe, and follow. We're the Eyes on Avs.
Later, guys.
Later.
See ya.